Hello. As always, live long and prosper, and today will be a little bit rant on philosophical themes and linguistic themes of Russian language, русский язык, English language, English, and some other cases like Proto-Indo-European languages. So, first of all, English language is designed to build constructions, to make business and to understand based on basically uh, more than that Latin language. Latin language. It's exact. But now let's take a look at Russian language. Russian language. First of all, it's not the hardest part right now. Just prepare for the hardest part right now. It's in the middle between English and Chinese. Prepare for the hardest. Just take a deep inhale and prepare for the hardest part. Now it's the easy part. First of all, Russian language has three genders: he, her, and it. And if you call animals it in English language, we we have specific gender for every animal species in Russian language. For example, a squirrel is her, a wolf is him, a hare is him too. Then fishes, for example, Плотвушка is her, she. Окунь is sea bass, is him. Just you're really starting to realize this now, okay? You do, okay? That's not the hardest part. The hardest part is we have for every word that we must somehow remember. No wonder we're so brain fucked. And I'm sorry I said this word, so I'm sorry. So brain twisted and crazy. We have to remember every word. Who is he? Who is she? Who is it? For example, ведро, a bucket, is it. But for example, машина, the car, is she. But the same word for the car, automobile, would be him. You're trying to realize this now, okay? This is not the hardest part. Now comes the hardest part. I promised you. The hardest part will come. We have, for every of these words that we have to remember, we also have 6 cases. Именительный, родительный, дательный, винительный, предложный. Так, значит, запомни. Иван родил родительный, детенка, дательный, велел, винительный, тащить, творительный еще. Also творительный. Пеленки, предложный. We have 6 cases. 6 cases for every word. You know, you have this proverb of it's Chinese to me. Basically, I don't even know how I learned to remember all of this. It's just, just cortical memory, going through your back spine. You just cannot remember this. And also the orthography and grammar. You English people or anyone who watches me with the knowledge of English language, you can just write anything. But we need to put commas, then this, what's it called, double dots, then a dot and a comma after words like возможно, maybe, or possibly. We need to put commas after every word because it's what's called in Russian междометие, a word that is useless but is still used anyway. Yeah. And what the thing I told you before reminds me of is that English speakers also call ships and cars her or she. That is approximately like Russian language because look at it. It's a scrap of metal. It's definitely it. A ship. It. No. For English speakers, it's she or her. For example, Titanic, that sank. When you watch videos about it on YouTube, it's her or she. She, Titanic. It's just a little bit of what we get in Russian language. Okay, then what's next? What's next is how we, at least in my times, I'm not sure how it's going on right now because I'm out of school right now. I'm over school. I'm almost 50. So in schools, in my time, what they had very strict teachers that gave you D minus. You know what D minus is in English? Probably you do. In Russian, it's 1 or 2 out of 5. We have 5 for the best grade and 1 for the lowest grade, and the same as 1 is almost 2. Basically no difference. It's just you're just being stupid, 1 or 2. If you miss this comma after things like words like maybe or possibly or excuse me, you need to put a comma. If you forget to put that comma, you fucking get a 1 or 2, or in your language D minus. Then yeah, that's about punctuation. Yeah, but about orthography, if you make a little mistake in pronouncing a word, for example, if you speak English, just don't even think of remembering all of the 6 cases of Russian words. I don't know how I did it myself. Probably because I was born in Russia. That's how I remembered it. But it's just hell. In English, you have just one case basically, and sometimes S on the end. And that's all you need to remember. And that's why you can, manipulate effectively, make business and everything else, because you waste your brain cells on useful things. But we Russians, and maybe even Chinese people even more, waste their brain cells on useless things that are like, let me give you an example. For example, in Russian word сахар means sugar. The pot for containing сахар, sugar, is called сахарница. That's a female, a she word. Сахарница. There is no such word as сахарник. And then let me Сахарница, именительный падеж. Сахарницу, винительный падеж. Сахарницей, какой там Иван родил, дательный, сахарнице, дательный падеж, сахарни, велел, винительный, сахарницу, винительный падеж, blaming case, meaning, literal translation, велел тащить творителей, сахарницей, creative case, сахарницей, пеленки. Так, Иван родил детенка, велел тащить пеленки. Предложенный. О сахарнице. Can you remember this shit? We just use it on with this thing in our brain, with subconscious hypothalamus and what's it called? Basically the back part of the brain. You cannot fucking remember it at all if you don't know it. And if you make a mistake about all of this stuff, you basically, when you're taught to speak this language, you don't make mistakes. But when they ask you to explain why is this word pronounced with this letter, you just stumble and you cannot explain it. And I heard that Russian language is really between Chinese, very hard language with a lot of symbols, and European languages. It's just the mix of both in the middle. So that was a very short joke video about that Russian language is very precise sometimes in terms of emotions. You know, for example, you could say красный, which means red, or you could say красненький, which means ready, reddish. You could say красноватый, which means something like reddish, and everything else. But it's still a brain fuck. So thank you. This was my rant about that you don't need more stuff that you need in the language for the language to be effective. And sometimes I think that we have too much stuff in our language. And I understand Elon Musk, who named his son X12, because it's effective. And what we have here is sometimes precise, but it's not effective. Thank you for watching my stupid video. As always, live long and prosper. Goodbye.